Hey yo, what's up? You know what it is. It's the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. And of course, I'd like to welcome you guys back to another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. And yo, RWBY Volume 4, Chapter 9, man. Another one of those aptly named episodes, man. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. A lot of growth in this episode. A lot of needed growth on all 4 of the female heroines that make up Team RWBY, because this is the first episode this season that has featured all 4 of our heroines in the same episode. And I really like that this was an episode that was focused on each one of them and where they are currently in their journeys and things like that, because this was an episode, like I say, that was full of growth. And man, yo, let's just take it from the top, man. We can start with Yang and Tang, because that's something that's really important that I really appreciated about this episode, was because You start the episode off and Yang sitting up here like, yo, I got my bionic arm, yo, I already know I'm the shit. I'm feeling like I'm the shit. But then Tang Yang take her to school in more than one way, because what Tang Yang had to say to his daughter was something that she needed to hear. Is that up until that moment, there wasn't really a lot of thought coming from Miss Yao Long. Not at all. Especially in battle, because again, Tang Yang made the point of, you rely on your semblance way too much. Relying on something way too much is a crutch. That's all day, every day. That's with anything. To sit up here and think that, yo, I got the ultimate trump card. But then the thing that he was saying to her made sense. It's like, what if you miss with your super punch that's built up with all this damage you've taken? What if the opponent's stronger than you? What if you can't hold all of that in as a simplest? What happens then? That means that you off the game and you tired, or even worse, that you underestimate your opponent and get yourself killed. And he sat up here and made the point that, yo, you sat up here and you overestimated what you can do, and that's why you lost your arm. These are things that Yang is going to have to take with her, because now she gonna have to, with all this information that Tang Yang has told her about understanding that there's more than one way through a problem. That he sat up her and he took a second to talk about Auntie That's So Raven, that both of y'all share something in common. Y'all think the only way through a problem is through it. Sometimes you have to understand that you have another option to go around. That this right here is a big step for Yang, because as a character, she now has the opportunity, with all this knowledge of understanding that I'm not as good as I think I am. That I can improve, that I can and will be better. That when Yang finally get back in the business, get back in the mix, she gonna still be number one bae indeed. However, regardless of that point, is we gonna see a Yang dog that's gonna be a force, because power is one thing. Focused power is truly dangerous. But we'll see how that all shake out. Meanwhile, in Nice World in Super Mario Bros. 3 speak, is we have Miss White Schnee, who ever since being pimp slapped by Uncle Phil Jock in the face for real, got drawn for Uno'd out with that smackety smack. She been in the lab, well, her room that she can't leave, grinding. And the whole thing was her just sitting up here just grinding. And of course, you got White Card and Banks, he just sitting up here like, what you doing, sister? And then it's like, White came straight at his throat. Like, are you jealous of what I can do? Of what Winter can do? And he sits up here, and you know, White Carlton Banks hella jealous that he can't, what's the word I'm looking for? Because I was finna say something, but I'm going to rewind that. Let's put it this way. You wish you could go be a huntsman. That, yeah, money and power is cool. Yeah, I got an army to do the work for me. But as we just talked about with Yang, and I can bring that example here, is What happens when the army falls and you have no idea how to defend yourself? What then? What then? Ain't gonna be no army forever. So to sit up here and have a cocky attitude like that and think that the sky can never fall on me, that's how you get dead quick. But the thing to take away from all of that is what Weiss did at the end, though. She sat up here and summoned whatever that thing was. And I do wonder if that's the replacement for that big giant ice titan that she summoned in Volume 3. I wonder if that's what that is, or it's just that. The other thing that I noticed, and now that I think about it, was before she summoned that thing was a book fell. And I wonder did that book affect what she did using the dust to summon that thing. I do wonder what it was. And I have a feeling before this volume is over, we will get our answers on that. So, I do wonder though. I do wonder if was summoning whatever that thing was the whole point was for her to escape. Because if her whole thing was to leave, she could have done that at any point. Any point after she got pimp slapped in the mouth, she could have just bust the window and just ran. But the question is if Weiss is running, where is Weiss going to run to? Where is there to run? Other than Mystery, of course, where everybody is going to end up, but more on that later. Meanwhile, in Menagerie, we've got Miss Blake and we've got Shut Up Son sitting up here chasing whoever this ninja girl was that was peeking in on them last episode. And through all of this, we learned who this person was. Her name, Ilya Amatola. She's saying she has some history with Blake because she's in Menagerie and Daddy Buffness is the king, so why shouldn't she have some kind of relationship with this woman? But while the fight was cool, our boy Shut Up Son caught an L. I don't know if he is really that fucked up, but Blake seemed broken up about it. So go ahead. I know I should go find out what the ship name is for Blake and Son. Let me see. Black Sun. That's probably what it's called. I bet you that's what the ship name is called. I bet you. I'm just guessing at this. Black Sun. See, I'm a gangster. I'm a gangster with this shit. I thought y'all didn't know. But I'm I wanna know. I'm this white fang stuff get interesting by the episode when they feature it, because there's a lot more there than whatever the fuck Adam was on. They go a lot deeper than that. So it should be interesting to really see what is the relationship between Blake and Ilya, because I bet you the way that Blake looked at her, it looks like at one point they were super, super, super close. And then their divisions of whatever their reasons were, and Ilya telling Blake you shouldn't have came back. It's something there. And of course we got Team Junior and God Uncle Krol. And Uncle Krol still fucked up after getting his ass whooped really, really, really bad. However, that is not what's on display here. What in the fuck is up with the boy Ren? What is so fucked up about what happened in this boy's past that he won't even walk to the place where he came from? I'm there's something to this, and it's I am more interested in that than anything right now. Even though the end of the episode that we did saw that John and Ruby are walking into something that they may not be able to fight back, and I don't know if Uncle Krol gonna make it. I'm Uncle Krol the best character in the show because he can turn into a crow and he God, but I don't know. Not really sure. But yo, that was the burning question that I had at the end of this episode, is what is this backstory that Nora and Ren are trying so hard to cover up? Because I really thought that they were going to, but it's I understand that for the pacing of the show, that this wasn't an episode where you could do that, but I would have thought they would have stood right there and Ren would have just got so pissed off he would have just blurted the truth out. But whatever this is that they keeping a secret from everybody else got to be so mind-blowingly important, that they probably need to dedicate a whole episode to Ren's backstory, because they can't keep teasing that Ren has this irrational fear of going to wherever the hell he came from, and Nora being Nora, sitting up here covering it up and with no explanation as to why. So, this episode was indeed 2 steps forward and 2 steps back, because they split up. Like, you would think that, and for real, and that was the thing that John made a point of, that I'm sitting up here looking at, like, after every fucking thing that we all have been through, that somebody's life on the line, but you so spooked by your past that you can't get over it, so we gonna go one way and y'all gonna go another. That's not gonna end well for anyone. So it should be interesting to see the shakeup and the fallout from all of that. So yeah, so that's an episode of RWBY. I'd like to thank you for joining me. Got a couple of more of these this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Got a couple more coming up. I got some more stuff on the marathon train that I'm currently running right now. So it's like I'm going to probably get to that stuff. You'll probably hear about 2 of the things that I've gone back and watched sometime tomorrow, I think. But that depends if I have time, because I got some other stuff I gotta handle. So you guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, do that. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful day, because no matter what it looks like outside, every day you on this side of terra firma is a good day. With that being said, I am of course the one and the only the triple, the G.O.D. And I'd like to thank you once more for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. With that, I'll holler at you guys next time, man. Peace out.